Welcome back to the Winthrop Coliseum, where the Eagles have knocked off Charleston Southern today 55-53. This is our Piedmont Medical Center Winthrop postgame show. Piedmont Medical Center, the official healthcare provider of the Winthrop Eagles. It's time to announce our Coca-Cola Player of the Game, and tonight it is Andre Jones, a team-high 11 points and 4 rebounds. Andre is with us now. You hit a three with about 6 minutes to go that put your team up by 10, and CSU was coming on a run at that point. Talk about that bucket.
It was a rhythm bucket. It was more out of the offense. I think somebody drove and they kicked him. I can't really remember the play, but it was a big play, though.
Your team wins this game 55-53. You led throughout. Was it you were up at 18 in the second half. Did you feel like you guys got comfortable?
No, I think they started hitting shots. That's all it was. Like, Mantoris was contesting Jamarco Warner. Every shot he took was contested. It just went in the basket. So, we didn't feel comfortable at all. We played a hard game.
Your team has won 5 of 6. How do you feel?
It feels good, actually. I think we have a better record than we did last year already. So that's a good thing to know.
You put in 11 points and 4 rebounds. Had struggled a little bit the last few games. What about your game?
I can't tell you. I don't know what's been going on with me, but I'm glad something positive came out of the night. Hopefully we can keep pushing.
Coach Peele, when we've asked about you, continues to say he's a good player, he's a good shooter. When he shoots in rhythm and he gets his feet set, he's going to knock down shots. Have you continued to have that confidence?
I have. Some days I'll get down on myself, but Coach Peele always, and the rest of the coaching staff and my teammates to stay on me to stay positive.
Last year, as the season continued, it was obvious that you were the go-to guy. This year, with Gideon and Robbie and Reggie and Matt Morgan, there are a lot more options. Did you like the role last year as knowing you had to be the guy, or do you like to have some other guys there?
Either way, whatever I'm needed for, my role is on the team. It doesn't matter. I'll accept my role.
Coastal Carolina comes to town on Saturday. They'll go for their 20th win of the year on Saturday. You played them down at their place, played a pretty tight game against them. What do you remember about that? What do you think about Coastal?
I remember we lost, and what I think about them, I think we're going to have a pretty good game, pretty good crowd here. It's going to be my birthday, and that'll be a good birthday gift to get a win here.
Thanks, Andre.
All right, thanks.
Andre Jones, he's our Coca-Cola Player of the Game as Winthrop beats Charleston Southern 55-53. Andre Jones, our Coca-Cola Player of the Game. Twist the cap to refreshness, and now we'll bring in Eagle head coach Randy Peele, who sees CSU go on a 23-8 run in the second half. Winthrop once led by 18. The lead is very, very tight late in the game, but you come away with the win. Let's start at the end. Andre Jones makes the first of 2 free throws, misses the second. The ball bandied around for a rebound. CSU comes away with it. Sexton ends up with a 16, 17-footer. It was pretty well contested by Reggie Middleton. Talk about that final play of the game.
Well, what we were going to do, Dave, it was if we made them both and we're up 3, we were going to switch everything. Okay, and then at that point, if there was any dribble penetration and if you were guarding somebody outside the 3, then you weren't going to help off of them. We were, that I wasn't going to foul. I'd already made up my mind on that. So I thought the biggest thing is the Andy's effort to get on the offensive glass bought us some time. He didn't come up with it, but his effort bought us some time, and then we just did a great job. I mean, there was one time where his forearm was in our throat, I thought, close to being an offensive foul, but we got back in transition defense, and really I don't know all the time of it, but defensively, I want to say with the last 2 minutes and 9 seconds, they got one basket. Is that correct? And that was when Martin drove the ball. So they helped us. I mean, they were 16 for 21 from the free throw line, and 3 of them were very, very late.
You brought up free throws. Your team was 8 of 22.
Oh,
you missed the front end of 2 1-and-1s late in the game.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't determine the game tonight, but it very well could have.
Oh, boy. It's dealing with guys that are 18 and 22. I mean, we've gone through stretches where we have shot the ball very, very well. And we have been shooting 66%, but really Andy Bouchard has been the guy.
Well, he's 2 of his last 15.
He's 2 of his last 15, and it's not like he's not working on it, So obviously tomorrow, Dave, I mean, we're going to spend a lot of time shooting free throws. I mean, because where it makes it tough is, when Andy's 1 for 6, then you can't play him on offense, because I told my staff, I said they're going to foul him and put him at the free throw line. So we'll come back and work on it tomorrow.
Let's talk about the positive. This is a game you never trailed in. You led by a dozen at halftime. You distanced the lead out to 18 when it was going well. What was going so well?
Well, defensively, we really had them under wraps, I felt like, and then they just, Jamarco Warren just made some unbelievable shots. I mean, some of it wasn't bad defense, it was better offense at the time. But the thing that I'm proud of, that the storyline is this. Before the game started, okay, one, from talking to you, I told him, before the game, our defensive goal was 54 points. Now, I haven't ever picked 54 points. That's the truth. Okay, I also told him our defensive goal was they could get 5 threes and no more. They were 3 for 16. Okay, and then lastly, from our conversation, I put on the board when they don't shoot 40%, which you and I talked about, they were 0-5. Those were the 3 goals, okay, that I gave them from a defensive standpoint. And you know what? We didn't play great offense, but we came through and found a way to win. I'm happy for our kids. We got a little bit, I don't want to use the word tight, but we just didn't, I didn't feel like that. We played with a lot of confidence against that zone.
Andre Jones hit a big 3 with about 5-6 minutes to go. And, we talked about him before the game. He had really, really struggled. 1 of his last 13 from the floor, 7 of his last 38. And, he steps in and scores 11 points on 4 of 8 shooting. Talk about his performance.
Well, you know what? One time I took him out, and I hate taking him out of a close game. I'll be honest with you. The 3 that he made was on a call. It was wide open. He had a great look at it. And, it was like I got asked at the luncheon, what about Andre Jones? And I said, Andre Jones is going to be fine. And I just believe that. I believe that with his character, And so the one thing about him, Dave, like there's some guys when it gets late, they run from the ball. And he's one of those kind of kids, when it gets late, he's trying to find it. I thought the ball looked good coming out of his hand. I thought he looked relaxed. Shooting it, and he was huge for us. Now, the other play was there was a key play. I think we were down by 1, correct?
No, you never trailed.
We never got down. We got tied, right? Well, we came down. We ran a loop, and Reggie Middleton drove it, dropped it off to Charles Corbin, and Charles Corbin scored a bucket, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the beauty of it is this: how much time was on the clock when we scored that bucket? Because that was our last basket.
Corbin. We'll look it up.
Yeah.
I don't actually have that written down.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was 52-51, and with 1:04, we go up by 3.
Right.
Okay, and that was a 1-point game, and that was a huge basket for us after Andre Jones.
Before we let you go, and you mentioned that Middleton penetration to get Corbin the ball, Reggie committed his second foul in the first half with 17 minutes to go, so you had to go with Reggie King and Justin Burden in the first half. Kind of talk about what obstacle that created.
Well, you know what? I was really pleased with the way that that Justin Burden played. I thought Justin gave us a really big lift at the end of the half. I mean, I thought he pushed the ball. I thought he made good decisions. The bottom line, I mean, he's got to use his length a little bit better, but because of that, we bought some time with Reggie King, and I thought Reggie was really solid. He didn't hurt us. He defended pretty well, and honestly, I've got confidence in him. He knows what he can do and what he can't do, and he didn't try to do anything he couldn't do. And now, as elementary as that is, okay, being able to do that in the heat of the moment when really you're getting quality minutes, I thought was huge.
Winthrop head coach Randy Peele, congrats on the win.
Okay, thank you.
The Eagles win 55-53, and I like that Coach threw in that plug for the luncheon every Wednesday at Firebones, beginning at about 12 noon with the radio show at 1. We'll have more on the Piedmont Medical Center Winthrop postgame show ahead on the Winthrop Sports Network.